Hello and welcome to the start of a series that I'm incredibly excited about. So you may have seen smango23's series. I will link the finale video in the description. But he did a concept where he spun a wheel that had lots of different styles, and each day he would build a randomly generated style. So he did this for a month. So the level had 31 parts because it was in October, and it has recently been released. I liked this idea but wanted to do it a little differently. I don't want the time restraints. I'm not a huge fan of pressuring myself to get content out, but I want to do a similar thing where I will make a layout with a certain number of parts, and each one of those parts will be a different style, and I will do one video per style. If there are any styles that you would like to see me do, leave it in the comments. I did do a community post about this, but the comments of this video would be much better. Anyway, now I need to build a layout, and I don't even have a song, so I'm going to quickly go and find a song. I actually have a better idea. I had a song in mind for a solo that I wanted to do, but I never really got round to doing it. So the song is a cover of Fake Plastic Trees by Radiohead, a song that I do really like. I'm also going to have to apologise for the audio quality. I'm not sure how good it's going to turn out. So this is my list of styles so far. I have 9 Circles Equinox style, which is an older effect creator. I've wanted to try their style for quite some time. Modern, Ocean, Split 72, Retro, Forest, Hell, Mansion, Rainbow, and Egypt. The latter ones, so that's Ocean, Retro, Forest, Hell, Mansion, Rainbow, and Egypt, they were suggested on my community post. I definitely need more, so please leave your suggestions in the comments. Another difference between smango's series and mine will be that I'm going to structure this around what I think the gameplay should look like for each individual part. So this is not going to be randomized. I will know what is happening when. So in the wave part, I'm definitely going to use 9 Circles, probably for the second one because I want it to be a bit longer. Maybe this will be a style that I'm not particularly happy about or something like that. I don't know. In this video, all I am planning on doing is building the layout, and I don't really know how long it's going to take and how polished and finalized this layout is going to be. I would presume I will leave some empty spaces so that I can be creative in the decoration process. I quite like this. I'm going to just add a couple of saws and structures around so I can remember this path. So big saw here, and then maybe a little one here. Maybe a little structure here. I'm not going to bother optimizing the structure for the basic layout. I want to make these structures fairly interesting. I see a lot of levels where they're all blocky, and I occasionally do that myself, and I try and get out of that when I can. This will all be subject to change. I can change the layout as much as I want in order for it to fit the style. I believe this will definitely help me out in terms of visualizing what this level is going to turn out to be. It's quite a long structure. I might change that in the future. I'm not too sure on the difficulty that I'm going for. Something like a 6 star would be good, but when I make a 6 star it does tend to end up being a demon. So the first 2 parts are done. I might actually continue the structures over here, because when you die you can see further back behind where your player spawns. At first you wouldn't notice it, but if I die, behind me there's the rest of the structures. That's not a 6 star, but I'm happy with it. This is kind of interesting. That might be good fun to do. So I want to make it a bit more open, a bit more free, because I definitely don't want this to become quite a difficult level. Okay, so this is a pretty solid layout so far. Not that I'm doing very well at it. I think it definitely will need to be nerfed. I'm currently filming this in the workshop, so my fingers are very cold, so playing is not my strong suit. Yeah, I like this. This is good fun. It's time for the UFO part, which I never really make. I don't like UFO, especially to make gameplay for. I think I'm going to have as few inputs as possible while still not letting it be boring. It's very easy to make UFO gameplay quite boring. Something that I definitely forget to do whilst making UFO gameplay is add structures to it. It tends to just be jumps mid-air, but landing on a structure makes it a bit more fun. Also, I definitely try and vary the direction with UFO, because otherwise it's just really boring. So adding blue jump rings and pads and other things like that can definitely make it more interesting. But don't completely rely on jump rings, otherwise then they get boring. I find wave sections some of the easiest to make gameplay to, because all you really need to do is play it and then outline it with some slopes. The only issue with this is it's going to be difficult to find so many styles that fit with these slopes. So I might change the structuring halfway through to something a bit more interesting. I also find it important to add variety to your structuring in wave sections. So I tend to delete some of the structures and replace them with saws or something similar. For the UFO part, I made sure I left enough room for me to just add what I want to it. So this is the basic layout, no structuring really. This is all I'm doing for it. This is just because of laziness, but I'm not going to add the other side of the structures because I have shown the layout enough. That way it doesn't need to be a set difficulty. I can make it out here, or I can make it as close as this. This time I think I am going to establish a difficulty. I actually have no idea how I'm going to decorate this. Okay, so I've made quite a lot of it. I've gone past the wave part and now have a ball part, a spider part, and 18 seconds, and I have made 52 seconds worth. I'm not very good at commentating when I have to sync things, so I do apologise about that. I'm sure there are quite a few time lapses in this video. However, it will be very different when I get to decorating this, as I can relax a bit more and not really have to think about what I'm doing. So with ball parts, I try and vary the inputs because it's very easy to just be going up and down like this. So having a change in direction seems quite important, adding things like that in. Just a little progress update. I've made the ball and the spider, as you probably saw in the time lapse. There's a lot of variety in the direction of the gameplay. It's definitely important to do that. I know I've said it quite a lot, but I see so many levels where you're just going up, down, up, down, up, down. It's good to make the gameplay a bit more interesting, have you falling off structures, bouncing off pads, jumping off jump rings, but also having the up, down within that. So I only have one more part. I'm going to try and commentate through this because I've done an awful job. First things first, I want to make it so you're kind of jumping up, down, which I've just said not to do. I might actually use the block that I put as a marker and then change that to that. That's exactly where I wanted it. I think it's time to flip the gravity. You can't have enough gravity switches. You definitely can. Let's change it back round instantly. And then maybe have a way of turning it back round again. I think that's a decent setup for turning it round. I forgot to commentate again. I think I'm done. Just need to make this work. And I think that will. So I think I'm ready for the showcase. So I do hope you're looking forward to the series. It definitely will be better than this video. Make sure to leave your suggestions for themes and styles in the comments. You can even put a creator's name and I can try and match their style. Thank you very much for watching this video and I shall see you in the next one. Bye!